30 terrifying minutes on a Delhi-Srinagar flight that changed my life. There are some things about life that we take for granted. Sometimes that list includes life itself, whether we realize it or not. On Wednesday, the 21st of May, I boarded an Indigo flight from Delhi to Srinagar. Just another day in public life, just another flight. I take my usual seat at 19F at the emergency exit. Opting for that seat is an old habit. I'm on autopilot, doing all the things I normally do on a flight. 45 minutes in the air, halfway to our destination, there's an announcement over the PA asking us to fasten seatbelts. But there's absolutely no turbulence. 5 minutes later, we see lightning clearly visible as it stabs through the daylight. Now there is some turbulence, but it progresses rapidly. I realize this is not your regular turbulence. This is severe, the likes I've never experienced on my frequent flyer miles before. The plane by now is scarily tilting to the right. I'm acutely aware of this because I'm seated at the right-hand side of the Airbus A321neo. I'm accustomed to planes banking or tilting for a variety of reasons, but this does not feel like a normal situation. It is not a series of bumps or jerks. The entire aircraft starts tilting precariously. We are like hurtling down, seemingly to a sickening drop. Not a minute or two, I would say this lasted at least 10 terrifying minutes. Outside, all we can see, clouds ripped apart by angry streaks of lightning and constant hail. My mind is racing. Now there are other noises in the passenger cabin, not the normal buzz of conversation or a meal service. By now people are screaming, praying, chanting, some are screeching. The wave of sound creates added tension and fear. I'm conscious of passengers trying to film on their phones, but a voice, was it male, female, passenger voice, flight attendant, I can't remember. The voice says, "Band karo, stop filming." My life does not flash before me. Instead, I'm consumed by the thought that if something goes terribly wrong, I will miss the wedding in a few months of my only daughter. I think of my daughter, wife, stepdaughters, brothers, colleagues, friends. I think of what a tragedy it would be to leave them all behind without one chance to say goodbye to any of them. Sadness. Sadness. The sadness is overwhelming. It is a deep, abiding sorrow for relationships, for friendships that will not progress beyond this fraught afternoon. Yes, I am aware of how blessed my life has been. Perhaps I honestly don't know if it had something to do with going to a dingy lane in Kolkata 35 years ago in 1990, where they housed the headquarters of a congregation of nuns. The setting was Spartan, almost awkward. 4 tackily painted wooden stools set out on a veranda overlooking a quadrangle. My first meeting and touching the hand of Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa of Calcutta. So what else ran through my mind? I didn't think about politics. I didn't think about Parliament. I didn't think about the number of followers I had on X or Instagram. I was focused on the people who I love, people who mean the world to me, people who have been an important part of my life. I prayed to a higher being. I made a pact to be good. My colleague, 2 seats away, had felt the tension too. We had battled our fears in our own ways. He was bathed in perspiration. He looked as if he just stepped out of a shower. At the time, I didn't think to ask him what I looked like. It was probably 30 minutes before we landed. Before we touched down, a member of the cabin crew asked us to pull down our window shades because we were landing at a military airfield. After taxiing to a halt, the engines were switched off and everyone began to deplane. I didn't follow. I remained seated, alone. Why? I'm not sure. Perhaps to let it all sink in, perhaps to process it all, perhaps to decompress. I don't know exactly, but it gave me a chance to speak to the pilots before I left the aircraft. I thanked them on behalf of all the passengers and the crew. The captain told me this had been the most difficult flight in his 41 years of flying as a pilot. We kept speaking, but I promised the captains that the rest of our conversation would remain private forever. I only saw the damage to the nose when I deplaned. I still have no idea what that damage could have done or the potential danger it posed to our collective safety. I'm home now in Calcutta. It's been a week. I thought I'd dealt with it in my own way, but I was wrong. Then a few hours ago, I spoke to a childhood friend. He did the best thing any friend could have ever done. He listened. I had to stop several times as my emotions welled up repeatedly. All he said amid the prolonged silence and my stifled sobs was a simple quiet. It's all right, I'm here. I had to stop several times to regain my composure. That flight changed who I am. It changed how I regard every aspect of my life. That experience was unforgettable, deep, life-changing. Now I fully comprehend that life is a gift. It is to be cherished. I haven't forgotten my pact. It will be basis of the new profound gratitude I have for life.